Hello, welcome to the Caz and Daz show, powered by Notch, brought to you by FocusHoops. Hope you're well. My name is Darren Paul, joined as ever by the legendary Caz Bullock and the I don't know, how can we describe him? What we got? Oh, incendiary. I like that. Michael Hansen Morris, aka Mikey Spice. Caz, how are we doing?
Good. Looking forward to a long weekend and watching some basketball during it.
Michael, how's your weekend looking?
Quiet.
That's unlike you.
Yeah, I don't think I've got on at games Saturday or Sunday at the moment, which is a little bit unusual, but unfortunate we've had another game postponed. But get Friday night basketball instead, which should be fun.
Lovely old job. Just tell the people, where can they hear the incendiary Mikey Spice?
Nowhere.
You've got a game tomorrow, yes?
Yeah, but not Mikey Spice hasn't.
Oh, Mikey, sorry.
No.
Where's Michael Hansen Morris commentating tomorrow?
I believe we're on the Nottingham Wildcats YouTube channel once again on Friday at 6 o'clock and Wednesday, I believe, 4 o'clock.
What?
Yeah, Wednesday 4 o'clock against a certain
the
team
Mystics.
Normally commentated by Caz.
Oh,
4 o'clock is not a good time for me to be watching basketball games on a weekday.
Caz, unless it's a bank holiday, it's not a good time for anybody to be watching basketball. But
it's not. Can you have a word, Mikey, and get that moved back a bit, please?
To a sensible time, to a proper time.
You can't say anything this time, Daz. It's not like you're exactly working.
Yeah, because I'm on holiday. That doesn't mean that it's doesn't. Unless it's a bank holiday, it doesn't mean that it's just let's check. It's not baseball, which starts today, by the way. Okay, right. Enough with your faffing about, Michael. No, I'm teasing you. Huge week of sport. Where do we want to throw it over to you two? Where do we want to kick off? Do we want to go WNBL, WBBL, NCAA, Caz's Corner? Let's just go wild. Where do we want to start? Okay, awesome. That was really great stuff. Thank you so much. Michael, let's start with you. Let's talk NCAA. We usually start British.
Okay.
We're going to save that good stuff, but we're going to kick off. We've got you, Mickey Spice.
Wow.
Tell us about the NCAA women's tournament. How have you found it so far?
It's been an interesting tournament. It feels like this year there's been a few more blowouts, which is a bit of a shame, but we've still had some really good quality of basketball. Obviously, a little bit of controversy around the Baylor UConn game on Sunday. That was. The days have kind of merged together at this point. I think it was Sunday night.
I think Monday night, but it's either or.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Monday. So obviously that ended on a UConn 69, Baylor 67 in the first of the Elite Eight games, and ended on really a no call that probably should have been a call. And obviously that kind of immediately, I think the disappointing thing was it took away from the rest of the game, because that was just two very good teams going back and forth at each other, and everything you kind of expect from an Elite Eight type of game. Obviously, AP Player of the Year, Paige Beckers, stepped up huge, 28 points. And again, anyone that's seen her play it's no surprise that she's getting talked about. And there's been some talk this week about, maybe the NCAA should go towards the men's side of it and allow one and dones. So people like Paige, Caitlin Clark at Iowa can hop straight into WNBA rather than having to wait another really 2 years till they can go in.
Now you follow NCAA college more than I do, and again, I don't watch college basketball until this time of year. Is she ready? Could she go in if the rules were such? Could she go in and cope in the WBBL? Oh, sorry, WNBA.
WBBL, yes.
Okay.
WNBA, I think there's the odd generational talent that can, and I think Paige is one of them.
Do you think physically, though? Do you think she's physically big enough to go up against players
I
that she would in
think I
WNBA.
worry if that is the question, but you see the same thing on the men's side, and it's like, 18, 19, is Luka Doncic ready to play ACB at 14? Well,
Yeah.
no, but after a year or 2 years, and we're at a stage where you don't have to necessarily throw players in straight away all the time. You can do some funky things around it. Like, really, everyone expecting that Collie is going to be a number 1 overall pick, but she's not the number 1 overall pick because she's the best player that's going to be on the board. I think she'll be the best player that's projected to be in 2 or 3 years' time. I don't think she is the best player coming out of college this year. And I think the consensus is pretty unanimous around that. Obviously, she kind of disappeared in the Elite 8 game that she was in with Texas against South Carolina. She scored 4 points, I think it was. And she was really quiet. So you always have to draft a little bit on potential as well. I don't think I think the worry would be that there's too many players would do it. And obviously and getting the right advice to when to go in. But I wouldn't be surprised if Paige is close to being ready to start in the WNBA because she is that good. How often do you get a freshman as an AP player of the year?
I'm guessing not often.
So it's the first time, was it?
Yeah, it's the first one.
Really?
Yeah, that
Wow.
a freshman won it. So maybe she wouldn't be ready this year, but I'd be amazed that she wouldn't be ready next year. And next year she's not draft eligible either.
Sorry, I was just going to go through some comments and come to Caz real quick. Martin Diane says UCLA for the win. That is on the men's side. That is Martin Diane is the league leader, nation leading 3-on-3 enthusiast. Hugh Hopkins says she's not big enough physically, but put Paige in a professional team's weight room with real training staff, and it wouldn't take long. Caz, I cut over you, and I apologize for that.
No, that's what I was going to say. Well, she could have taken advantage of that really good weight room that they were given at the start of the tournament.
Oh, it was so good. They had like dumbbells and like
a rack
dumbbells.
of them.
And then they had dumbbells and a lot of empty space.
I was just going to say it puts maybe not the league in a difficult position, but the problem with people leaving early, unless they are a generational talent, is the money isn't the same as the NBA's one and done. You're leaving your education and the security of maybe something to fall back on for a $30,000, $40,000 contract, and you could get cut.
Now, I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound a bit weird, but it's purely respectful. Look who jumped in the chat. It's Leah Parcell, who off camera we were discussing her bracket, which Mikey, you want to make some comment on. We've got our bracket competition. If you've already got a bracket, just chuck it in. We'll pop the link up on our Twitter or whatever. Jump in our little competition. See if you're better than Leah Parcell's bracket. It's absolutely wild. She might as well stay at UConn to get her degree, though. WNBA players, and this is to your point, Caz, exactly, not paid enough for it to be worth their while to finish college early. I want to just add on to that the money's not there, and the WNBA is a brutal, ridiculous, tough league. Like, the rosters are very small. There's 12 teams, and there's 3-month season. So what are you doing the rest of the time? Like, are you going to be playing at that same level, getting that same experiences? Are you going to, there's just adding a lot more players to the pool. If the WNBA ever becomes a more traditional league, let's say, and bigger, then we can talk about this. But like Leah says, and like you said, education versus, potential financial reward.
I mean, I'm not even sure if it's education, because a lot of the college guys go finish their education and are able to do it over the off season and stuff. There's ways to do it. I think the difference is actually, and this is kind of what Gina Ariama was saying, was actually it kind of allows players to build a brand. Because if you look at like Jalen Suggs on the men's side, who's also a freshman, and believe him and Paige know each other quite well. We're talking about he's going to be potentially a top 3 NBA draft pick if he decides to leave Gonzaga at the end of this year. Well, one's going to go to the NBA and make millions of dollars, and the other one's going to have to go back to UConn. And actually, if we're talking equality, it's a different. Obviously, not going to make millions, but Paige is going to become one of the most well-paid players, because you'd imagine she'll have the endorsements behind her as well. You'd imagine she'd be able to pick up a shoe sponsorship and all this stuff because of what she's already done. But by going back, she can help build, and more people are going to know her in a couple of years' time. So it's edgeways in that sense. Obviously, the issue is actually it's not an NCAA thing for once. It's what is correct, what is in the WNBA CBA.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know, it's a WNBA choice. And I think ultimately, for me, I think the players should have a choice, but I don't think it's the worst thing that we have to wait a couple of years. But I would imagine stuff like this helps maybe bring the timeline for being eligible for the draft maybe forward quicker and then more under the microscope than it perhaps is normally.
Now, am I right in saying there's a disparity between when Americans and Europeans can enter? Because we've got a 20-year-old entering the draft from Finland. She wouldn't be able to enter if she was an American. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, but I also don't know. I think, I don't know how it's CBA'd. I don't know what the terminology is, but you are right. Because, she might even still be 19.
I think by the time the draft comes around, she will be 20. But Caz, go ahead.
Is it the phrasing of sort of being a year or whatever removed from college or education, or
no, it's
the
got
US
nothing
system?
to do with that.
I don't think it is that.
I'll need to look that up. I'm not going to lie.
It was something that I think, I can't remember who it was that came out this week, but someone that was involved in the CBA was saying it was something that's kind of on their radar, but they were just, with the last agreement, there were just more pressing issues than that. Yeah. But it is something that's on the radar of the players in the WNBA. But we need expansion first. You need expansion. Yeah. There's too many talented players getting cut already.
Let us know in the chat where are your expansion cities going in the WNBA. What, maybe check in some team names. Tell us some colorways. Get involved. Fantasy book this. Again, to use a term that isn't associated in any way with basketball. So, Mikey, well, go on.
I was going to say, since we mentioned Leah, we kind of went off track.
Oh, yes.
Leah, if you can check the leaderboard and let us know where your bracket is exactly on the rank, because we're thinking it's about top 300 of all the brackets that got entered on ESPN, which is, I think, about 800,000, maybe slightly more.
So not too shabby.
But yeah, I'd say she's crushing the rest of us in the FocusHoops bracket quite convincingly. To be a top potential 200-300 bracket is proves British people know basketball in college as well. That's all I'm going to say.
So in the final four, we have Leah Parcell is 186 in the world, holding it down from Cambridge. Yes, Leah Parcell, things we like to see.
And the joy is we can actually see her bracket. So she has UConn and Stanford in the final, with UConn winning 79-72. So I don't even need to ask for a prediction.
There you go. So the final four, we've got Stanford taking on South Carolina. That is 11 p.m. our time on the 2nd. So that'll be tomorrow.
Whoa.
And all right, thank you. And then at 2:30 a.m. on the day after tomorrow, which is Saturday morning, UConn taking on the 3rd seed Arizona. So Caz? I think. Well, who did your bracket say, and has your real opinion changed?
No, I'm sticking with it. I've got South Carolina to win over Arizona. So I've got Arizona beating UConn, which seems a bit iffy now, but I don't know. I'll maybe stick with it.
I went UConn. I'm sticking with UConn, mainly because it's UConn. Again, I hold my hands up, but it seems to have been okay so far.
I'm always going with Dawn Staley.
Yeah, Gino, in fact, all the great players that I come from at school.
We'll see.
But yeah, we've not had. Well, I mean, we've got 3 number 1 seeded and 1 number 3 seeded team in the final four. So not exactly been upset central so far in this tournament. as Mikey. Are we able to come to you, or are you?
Yeah, I'm back. I was just
back.
Talking of prospects. The WNBA have just confirmed that the draft is exactly 2 weeks away, on the 15th, 7 p.m. on ESPN.
Excellent. So, Mikey, we've got Michael's pre-draft coverage coming up. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. More work for people.
Well, my bracket's kind of in pieces. I can't lie about that. The one seed that didn't make it was the one seed I had going to the final in NC State. But I did have Stanford winning it all, and Hannah Jump holding it down for GB. And she's had a really good tournament. So congratulations to Hannah. And hopefully Stanford can go all the way and win it, since that's what my prediction was. And I'm going to stick with the number 1 overall seed winning. I think they struggled in the first half on whatever day it was, Tuesday, against Louisville. But looked really good in the second half. And I think Stanford have kind of had to go through the most this year. And I think that's huge. For those not familiar, they basically were on the road for about 80 straight days in November, December, January time, because they weren't allowed to train or play at home in Santa Clara. So they were constantly on the road. So them kind of surviving this bubble is almost something they're kind of used to in a very odd way.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about with the NCAA women's basketball tournament?
I think just linking the two, as Lee, this is the deadline for anyone that isn't on a Final Four team today to declare for the draft. So as of tomorrow, we should have an idea a bit more of who's decided to use that extra year of eligibility and who's not. Obviously, some names have started to come out in the last few days of who's returning, who's transferring and all that stuff. So, but we should eventually have a list, and it means the mock drafts you start to see are probably a little bit more accurate, because there has been some early surprises on that front, both opt into the draft and coming back another year. There's a couple of projected second round picks in like the latest ESPN mock that have said they're going back for another year, for example. So that will shake up the draft order a little bit, I'd imagine.
And who's got the number 1 pick, just to remind everyone?
That would be the Dallas Wings, along with about 700 other picks, which is impressive since there's about 12 picks in the first round. But it feels like they've got all 12 of them.
You've got 5 of the first 13.
5 first rounders?
5 of the first 13, yeah. 1, 2, 5.
5, 7.
7 and 13, I think, off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. So, yeah. You could say
and final.
It'd be a good time for the Wings.
I believe, obviously, we mentioned this. Did you mention time and date for the final, Daz?
No, I was just about to do that. It is the 4th of the 4th at 11 p.m. So that's Sunday at 11 p.m. Prime time for watching women's basketball. And it's going to be a good time.
Is that better or worse than 4 p.m. on a Wednesday?
It's definitely better than 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. That is.
I was going to say, it's also Bank Holiday Monday, is it not?
It is Bank Holiday Monday. So no excuses. Get yourself the free preview on ESPN Player. Watch it. Enjoy the free week of 30 for 30 documentaries, other women's basketball, other women's sport, and men's sport, if that's your bag. And then, boom, bin it off. And you can have a cheeky lie-in Monday morning. Does that sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan to me, to you, to everybody. Any more for any more on the NWBA, NCAA? Can you tell I've been watching a lot of wrestling lately with the NWA reference? But there we are. Okay. Also, Dallas Wings. Yeah. According to ESPN, they're going to take Charlie Collier, number 1 overall, and Awak Kuya from Finland, number 2 overall. So be excited for that. We're going to lean on Mikey for some at least unofficial draft content in the next 2 weeks. Going to try and convince him that he wants to do a big board. All right. Dave Smith, my apologies. 12,000 players in the portal.
Hold on.
1,200.
12,000.
1,200. I've had a very busy day of relaxing. Okay, so 1,200 players in the transfer portal, 50% more than last year.
It is crazy. I think the D1 women's basketball number is up to 740. I'm not sure how exact that is, and obviously the various figures are actually logging on. You can't tell, but last I saw it was 740 D1 players, which is a lot. Some teams 0, some teams as many as 10. So certainly next year.
Name names. Who's that 10? Who's that 10?
I know Syracuse has got 10, and I think there's a couple of other schools with a very high amount as well.
Now, what has gone wrong for you to? I mean, sure, because this is purely player decisions, right? The transfer portal.
Yep.
So what's going on? That 10 players have decided to leave your program, and how is that not a major? And I don't call for people to lose their jobs, and that's not what's happening. But it's hard to imagine that you're seeing 10 players leave, and your sporting director or whoever runs the college side of things, pardon?
AD.
Thank you. Doesn't make some serious changes there, because that's outrageous.
Yeah, but I think this year's a little bit crazy. That's what's gone on. Like I've seen, like a team like Clemson's got 7. Colorado State's got 6. I'm just flicking through a list that I've got access to that has potential. And that's just flicking through. There seems a lot more this year. I think COVID and all those, like even Duke's got 6 of all things. And obviously their season was cut short anyway. So yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a different year. So obviously, hopefully everyone can end up in a place where they think they're going to be happier, because that's the whole point of the transfer portal in a roundabout way.
Do you play now with so many players moving? Are they going to lose a season of playing, or is this like a free transfer?
I don't actually know. Normally, you have to then get a waiver to play straight away if you stay in the same division. So if you go D1 to D1, but because this year didn't count as a year of eligibility, I don't actually know. I'd need to check how that affects moving.
The idea that you lose a season of your basketball career because you move schools is laughable and ridiculous, and it ticks me off no end. I hate it.
I see both sides of it. It's a different topic for a different day. But ultimately there's a lot more player movement now than there ever was. So maybe that calls the rule to change in a way, but it also encourages people to not just jump ship too much, which I quite like, and in a way show some loyalty to the school as much as the school showing loyalty to them. So but it's a different topic for a different day.
I can't speak. But the one thing I will say is that we've seen players, we've spoken to players who have had a bad experience in college and left the system entirely, left the country entirely. Whereas if they'd been able to transfer more readily or easily, maybe they'd have found themselves a better situation. I don't know. Pros and cons. Shall we move to the WNBL team of the week? Shall we kick off there? Does that sound good? Sound good to everybody? Let's look at the player of the week. It was Ncaa San Francisco of the Reading Rockets. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, a 29 efficiency in the Reading Rockets 77-61 road victory over the Worcester Wolves on Saturday. It's just silly. Just PlayStation numbers there. Any comments to make about our player of the week, Michael?
I mean, it's I think the WNBL this year we've seen probably more. I don't want to say parity, but we've seen a lot more players probably be in the mix for the accolade. I think it's nice that it's been able to be spread out a little bit more, because we have had multiple different players having great weeks. It's not too many players that have kind of had a repeat winner this year. There's obviously a few, but I think certainly the way it's shaping up is it's kind of got that unpredictability to it, which is great for the league. And we've kind of seen with the results that on the right day, anyone can win a game and anyone can lose a game, which is great, because that's what you want from a league. You want it to be competitive, and you want to be able to know that if you don't play well, you can lose the game. So you've got to play well every week.
Oh, we'll get onto that in just a moment. Let's check out the rest of the team of the week. We had Sitota Jimenez Espinoza, who, now, like you say, we do tend to have a different player of the week most weeks, but Jimenez Espinoza has been a frequent flyer with team of the week. Leah Edwards for her smashing performance on Sunday over Cardiff. I thought she also performed really well on Saturday, but it was Sunday that saw her over the line. Shakina Bimper for Nottingham Trent University in their win, 67-55 on the road against Ipswich. We'll talk about that. And finally, Wuba Ijelu, also of Barking Abbey, for her excellent performance on, was it Saturday, against the
Thames Valley Cavaliers.
That's the one. Thames Valley Cavaliers, 70-67 victory. That was a funny one, because there was a lot of discussion about this. There's always a lot of discussion over team of the week, and obviously we are involved, the three of us, as well as Greg and a couple of others. But the conversation went for about 2 days, including a very spirited conversation between yourself and myself, Michael. And it came down to the wire on Final Player, and looking at the game footage from a couple of teams. So, for example, there are no Cola players in this team of the week, even though they had a fantastic victory. But all of the Cola players seemed to play well together. There was no major standout. Everyone just sort of played at a level. And Barking Abbey had a bit of that as well, as David Smith is 351 D1 teams, so average of 3. That's a lot of teams in D1. That's more than I realised. So let's just quickly run through the results from the D1 this week. Like we said, Worcester Wolves, they lost at home to the Reading Rockets 61-77. Ipswich lost to Nottingham Trent 55-67 at home as well. Barking Abbey London Lions beat Thames Valley Cavaliers on the Saturday at home 70-67. Team Sonic Kestrels lost at home 57-63 to Colic Celtic Pride. And Cardiff Met Archers 49-69 loss at home to the Barking Abbey London Lions. Let's just talk about this Cola game real quick. I think they led for a couple of moments in the first quarter, and then from about 30 seconds left in the game, maybe 40, 50 seconds left in the game, then they got the lead back and stretched it out. But a really good clutch performance by their closing five. They did a real good job picking passes, forcing mistakes out of Sonic Kestrels, who are a really good team. I'm not going to call out anybody in particular from Cola, because again, they all 5 players on the floor at that time in the crunch time did a really fantastic job. Any comments from any of these games generally?
So the Ipswich game, that gives us a title race, doesn't it?
It actually does. It actually does. Now,
we got
again,
our very top-notch standings.
Let's do that. Let's do the top-notch high-tech standings. Looker, that's a word. We so after the show the other day, we were looking at the title race and we were like, do we have a title race? I was confident. I was like, yes, we do. It's going to take a minor miracle, but it could be there. And it turns out it could be there. A miracle for Loughborough, because Ipswich uncharacteristically fell at home. Here is the standings. We'll leave our names on there because it's not going to make a difference. So yes, Ipswich 10-2. Now they are still very much in the box seat. They win out the rest of the way. They wrap up the title. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. They are the team. Loughborough, they've lost 3 games, 9-3 record. Same number of games played as Ipswich. But crucially, they did beat Ipswich. That is the title picture. It's just those 2 teams. Team Silent Kestrels, too far back, especially with that loss this weekend.
Oh, hold on.
Don't you dare. No, surely. Are you going to claim?
I'm just saying, look at the loss column.
I'm looking at the loss column.
Cola have got 3 losses.
Oh.
So you can't You can't say
No,
that
that's
when they've only got one loss behind. Now, obviously, they've got games in hand and stuff, and I haven't looked at the Cola schedule. I'll be honest, I'm a
Well,
little behind on that one.
let's get that
In
get googling, my
theory,
friend.
I'm pretty sure obviously they played Ipswich at home and went to overtime in November.
It would have been
Really?
November, December.
And I'm saying I think we're all scrambling to pull up the. But if they've got Ipswich and Loughborough both to play, then actually Cola kind of in an odd way control. Well, they do control their own destiny as well.
Okay, well there we go. I spoke too soon. Cola Select Pride. There you go. That's something for this week's newsletter.
Cola on the 24th of April. And yeah, so yeah, Cola don't rule them out completely.
Do you see them getting the wins? Because they need to go essentially unbeaten.
But so do Loughborough and potentially so do Ipswich.
Both teams, yeah, okay, no, fair enough.
I mean, and we've just said anything can happen.
That's true.
Cola's next four is Cardiff, Thames Valley, Cardiff, and Barking. Now, that's about the bottom three.
That is the bottom three.
So suddenly, if you suddenly give them 4 wins there, then they're going into that Ipswich game at the end of April with only 3 losses.
This league is even more exciting, obviously, than I truly realized.
Yeah, to be honest, I hadn't quite put them in the title race until I just looked at the loss column because obviously Cola had a extended break.
Mm-hmm.
They were a little bit behind on the games played, but it's possible. And the thing is, certainly, I mean, we're way ahead for that matchup, but Cola and Ipswich always seem to produce very tight games.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And again, like Caz said, went to overtime earlier in the season. I think it was about November time. Now that was at in Southwark.
Yeah.
So now they've got to go to Ipswich, where the fortress. But wait, they've just lost to Nottingham Trent, and not by a small margin either, which is to me the most surprising thing about that win. Really good win. Congratulations, Nottingham Trent. Down now, I think there's an interesting race for the playoffs. I'm sure Michael's about to tell me I'm wrong, but I respect that because again, looking at the loss column, but Barking Abbey London Lions, they've done themselves a huge favour. Those 2 wins this weekend have put them right in contention. They do need things to go their way, but they've still got games remaining against Worcester, Thames Valley, and Cardiff Met. They put together a couple of wins. Couple of 6-pointers, as we call it in the old football, and they'll be absolutely right in there with a shout. And again, for me, Worcester, have they done enough? Because their form lately has really tailed off, and I'm a bit worried about them. They seem like they're a little bit on the bubble for me. I expect Thames Valley Cavaliers, who are up and down week on week, I do expect them to pick up enough wins. I think they're probably going to do enough. So at the moment, my 2, and people aren't going to like this, and I respect that. Barking Abbey, Worcester, that is my matchup for the playoffs. I think Reading are going to be too consistently strong to close out the year, and I think Thames Valley are just going to do enough. So I think that's your race for the 8. Worcester and Barking Abbey London Lions. Tell me if I'm wrong, Mike Hampton Morris.
You're probably wrong, but we'll see.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
I think this is the unpredictability of it. Like, I don't think a week ago we would have said Barking didn't really look like winning a game.
No.
And suddenly they pulled off 2, and the game on Saturday against Cardiff's huge. Because if Cardiff win that, then Cardiff are really half a game behind Thames Valley. Because they'd be 2-6, Thames Valley at 3-6, and suddenly you put Cardiff back in the mix. Obviously, Cardiff had the good win last week and then got hammered against Barking on Sunday,
and that was a 20-point loss.
Yeah, so but Cardiff have the ability, if everyone plays well, and that they can beat Barking on the road, and then suddenly they're back in the mix. So I would expect Worcester to find a run of form because I think they've got too much talent not to. But again, we'll wait and see. I didn't think they would have lost 3 or 4 on the bounce. So that's it. All it needs is one team to get hot, or one team to cool off at the back end of the season, and they're going to suddenly be dragged right down into that mix. And of course, within that, teams are still playing for home court in the quarterfinals as well.
Yeah. Oh, no dead rubbers, no dead games in the WNBL. Quoting directly from this week's Women's Basketball Newsletter, Edition 1. Again, a bit grandiose, but it is what it is. Links in the chat for you there. Lions have a tough 8 games ahead of them. They've got Cardiff this weekend. They've got a back-to-back with Reading. And then I think it's the last 2 weeks of the season, they take on TVC and Worcester. So for Bark and Abbey London Lions, like every week is absolutely, obviously must win, but they're facing all of the key teams. And again, those 2 games back-to-back against Reading, I mean, based on what we saw this weekend, maybe they pick up one of those games. Worcester still have Cardiff, TBC, and Lions to face. Thames Valley, they've got 9 games remaining. They've got a double-header weekend in May, back-to-back with Lions and Wolves, before a home and road with Cardiff. So very, very interesting set of fixtures remaining in the WNBL. I'm really excited. Let's just take one more peek at that table. Whoa, high-tech, fancy graphics. Is there anything else that you want to say about NBL D1? Is there any teams or positions that surprise us at all, or any general comments?
No, actually, I think it's going to be unpredictable. Ipswich are obviously a little bit thinner, having lost Coco Lung, and suddenly they're not as deep as they think. And obviously, Solent are missing Velke now, huge. So I think it's as open as it's been in a long time. And yeah, I don't think we'll know a much clearer picture for at least another month, which is great.
Obviously, you and I have covered this league for the last good few years now, and obviously you've coached in this league. Like, this is the closest I can recall it having been.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Is this? Would you guys say this is the strongest you've seen it?
No. I think not even player talent necessarily. I just think so many teams have struggled to get a rhythm.
Yeah.
I think if you look at even Ipswich, and I haven't spoken to Nick, but I don't think Nick would say they're playing as well as they were last year. I just don't think, and they've got the same group back, pretty much. I just think that they're not training as regularly. The game schedule was in and out. Like, again, suddenly you've got obviously they play this week, but then suddenly you might have a 2-week break coming up, and just to keep that rhythm going. And practice isn't as easy this year. You're trying to do a little bit less contact, perhaps, or some other factors come in. So I just don't think even WBBL, I don't think it's teams are playing maybe as well as they have been in previous years. Yeah,
and again, we've seen stronger Loughborough teams. We've seen Castrals be a bit stronger than they have been this year. Obviously, we're missing Bristol. We're missing Anglia Ruskin and the talent that they have. So, yeah, echoing Mikey there, really. But it has made for a really interesting, really intriguing competitive season, and I like that a lot. And also, the turnaround in fortune for Cola Celtic Pride has been really great to see. I mean, I saw them first or second week of the season, super impressed, and really liked it the rest of the way. Antonio Gerling, huge Lions fan. Lions will make the playoffs. Well, there we are. Antonio diving in there with his spicy takes. I need one more week before I'm going to come down definitively. I need this weekend coming. Is that cheating? I don't care.
It's a bit cheating.
It's a bit cheating. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Why not allowed to say spicy? I don't know. Right. Is there any more for anybody in the Women's National Basketball League of England?
Nope.
All right. Wonderful. What?
Well, as I say, Basketball League of I suppose I was going to say a Basketball League of England, but technically Cardiff in it.
Yeah, but it's Basketball England. Like, it's Basketball England.
Basketball League of England. Yeah, it's
like I'm literally a Welsh man. I was
going to say, don't forget your Welsh team. That's what I was going to say.
I'm wearing a Colin Bay top right now. Anyway, let us move on from that to talk about awards. It is the WNBL award season. It's coming up. We're going to have a fancy award show. Michael's going to dress up all fancy. We're all going to dress up fancy.
Hold on.
Awesome.
Can I just clarify, when does the regular season end?
9th of May.
Yeah, it's too early to think about awards.
Well, it's funny you say that because the league don't agree with you there.
Yeah.
So, yes, we are...
yeah.
What?
It's 5 weeks.
No.
5 weeks.
5 weeks. So
Yeah. Don't
not-
ask me, as a coach, don't ask me, and I did this last year, don't ask me to the week before the season ends.
Well, that's roughly when we're going to have it. We're going to have end of April, start of May. It's going to be beautiful. We're all going to dress fancy. It's going to be lovely. But we're all going to have a bit of a chat with a couple of people in the run up to that, getting some ideas of where they are at with the awards season. And also, we're going to throw it open to the viewers of Focus Hoops and readers of our fancy new, it's not fancy, our new newsletter.
Fancy.
It's kind of fancy. So we're going to throw open the award categories to you in a couple of weeks' time once we've got them properly nailed down. Really excited for that. Mikey? Just breathing? Just breathing.
He agrees.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
He agrees. Success. Right, that's all for the Women's National Basketball League. Brought to you by Basketball England. We're going to hear from Notch real quickly, and then we'll be back with WBBL, Caz's Corner, and any other business.
Jizzygate.
Our sponsors, Notch, the mark of achievement, and we are very glad to have them on board with Focus Hoops this year. They make fantastic bracelets that look super stylish and really help you celebrate your sporting achievement. They've just launched a basketball collection, and we're really excited to be on board with them. Let's imagine that you're a player. Let's say that you're Courtney Vandersloot. You got 18 assists in a single ball game, and you want a notch and a bracelet to commemorate that fact. Well, you can do just that. Customize it to your team colors, put the year that you achieved it, and get it the exact size that you need. There are a number of the colors available. Or maybe you're a coach. Maybe you're the coach of a basketball team. Let's just say that you're the London Tyrannosaurus Rex. Your team wears red. You had the league's most valuable player, the MVP, and you want to celebrate that. You want to award them with a great looking notch bracelet. Well, you can do just that. And you can get it saying MVP on the notch itself. That's the charm. You can get the colour you want. Gold is one that I'd go for if we're commemorating the best player in the league. We could even get the team logo, if it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex, let's say, on there. And present it in a beautiful presentation case. Huge thanks for Notch for coming aboard Focus Hoops. If you're going to start a basketball team in London, please call it London Tyrannosaurus Rex. I don't know exactly where my head was at when I decided that the Tyrannosaurus Rex was going to be a sick name for a basketball team in London, but I need to see it happening, and I'm going to speak to my friends and yours in the London basketball community. Caz, let's talk about the Women's British Basketball League.
Something amazing happened in the WBBL this weekend, and it
What
only happened on Saturday. But I feel like it was. I've had a very busy week, so I thought it was long. I thought we'd already talked about this, but we hadn't. Kennedy Leonard had 21 assists in a game
On Sunday.
21
On Sunday, yeah.
On Sunday.
Sunday. There you go. I don't know what day it was. This weekend, she did it this weekend, and it was so she's broken the record. She now holds the WBBL record for most assists in a game. It was previously held by Georgia Jones, who did she have 18 in 2017 or 17 in 2018?
Oh, I think it was 17 in 2018.
I mean, ridiculous. Like they beat Caledonia 91-59. Stephanie Ume had a great game as well. 27 points, 8 rebounds for her, but 21 assists for Kennedy Leonard is it's outrageous and outrageous. Give her the MVP.
Give it. Oh, that's big talk. That's spicy talk. Don't worry, we'll get dressed up, Mikey. We're gonna get dressed up real nice for the WBBL award show as well. But yes, I don't know. Is that enough right there? That performance, or are you talking a bit longer?
21. You 21. I mean, I think she's been having a great season. London have been having a great season, and if we go from my wild claim last week, they aren't losing another game this year. So, so when that happens,
that wild claim. When do they play Sevenoaks?
Sunday.
they play on Sunday. We've got a nice little graphic for it as well.
Oh, spoilers, please.
It's somewhere. So fantastic performance from Kennedy Leonard. And London play Essex tomorrow, and then Sevenoaks on Sunday, which is a rematch of a game earlier this month when Sevenoaks won by 3 in what was probably one of the best games of the season. So if you've not seen that, go back and watch it. But this Sunday, I think I found it.
Boom,
Sunday,
there it is.
April the 4th, you can watch Sevenoaks at London on the Barking Abbey London Lions YouTube channel. And it's at 1 p.m, which is Easter Sunday. What are you going to be doing? Eating chocolate, watching basketball.
Oh.
So that's what everyone can do.
Do you know what? I was getting excited. I thought that UConn whoever game on Sunday evening was going to be the most exciting game on Sunday. I was a fool. I was wrong. I was deceived. This is the game. Tune in, people.
This is a top of the table clash.
Top of the table clash. Michael, have you tried to get in there for the old commentary gig on that one?
No. I'll be probably at home watching. I might be on stats. That's yet to be confirmed. So I might be there in person. We'll see. But yeah, no. Georgia Jones' record, as far as I can see, it was 17
in 2018.
In 2018 against the Essex Rebels.
It was
in the WBBL Cup.
Oh, that's
not
interesting.
A league game.
Oh, that's interesting that they've counted that as record.
She also had a 16 that year against, I believe it was Lions. It was indeed London Lions.
I like the symmetry in that.
But either way, it's a WBBL record. I suppose it's technically all comps. It's the same thing. And I was trying to wrap my brain. I knew it was probably Georgia that had it, but I didn't know how many it was. So even 16 or 17, the credit would be. And the thing is, I think with Kennedy as well, we'd say she did it in like 27 minutes. It wasn't like she played all 40 to get it. She did it super efficiently. So
yeah.
So let's just talk about our Sunday matchup just a little bit more. So Caz, obviously you've nailed your colours to the mast on this one. It's going to be a dub. It's over. Sevenoaks don't even turn up at the game. Kazzy Spice thinks that it's a wash.
I mean, I feel like I've picked against Sevenoaks too many times this season, but Barking are the team that can beat them. They're unbeaten, 8-0 in the league at the moment. London are 11-1. London are going to want revenge for that game where they lost by 3. That was such a close game, such a good game. So yeah, they're coming out. They're not losing again this season. Said it. Cassie Breen, Kennedy Leonard, dynamic duo, leading them all the way to the trophy.
So you're betting against Ncaa, Tiana Clark, Janice Monacana.
I'm not betting against them. I'm betting on Cassie Breen.
The General Catherine Hulme. That's what you're betting against.
I'm not betting against them.
Hey, no, that's okay. We've all heard it. We've all heard it.
Are you betting against Kennedy Leonard, Cassie Breen?
Don't drag me into this. Don't drag me into. I'm not playing your game. I'm not playing these games.
That's a valid question.
Ncaa, Paige Robinson, Shanice Beckford-Norton.
It's Sevenoaks, man. It's
Charles.
And the thing is, I keep coming back to this point of it's Sevenoaks.
Yeah,
and they're really good, they find ways to win. And we've seen how many finals. Michael, how many finals have you and I been at? And we've seen Sevenoaks. And it's just now like, maybe. And then Janice Monacana just wrecks the place and points at me and be like, ha, I told you. And it's like, you told me. You know. I don't know. What do you think, Michael?
I haven't got a coin next to me before, so I'd flip it.
Yeah, absolutely.
As close as the last game, a 3-point game, as close as last one.
I can't see it being anything. I don't know if it would necessarily be a 3-point game or 2-point game. It might be a 4-point game with fouling at the end and stuff that blows it to 6 or 7. But if it's any more than a 2-possession game in the last 2 minutes, I'd be stunned. These teams just match up really well. So,
and that's why it's the game of the week to watch.
There you go. Is that just the WBBL game of the week? Yes, it is. Caz, what else is going on in the WBBL this weekend?
This weekend we have got tomorrow London and Essex at 2:30 and Nottingham and Sevenoaks at 6 p.m. Acceptable times on a bank holiday. That's okay. Then on Saturday we've got Cardiff and Leicester at 2 p.m. Again, weekend, that's fine. Caledonia and Manchester at 3 o'clock. And then Sunday, obviously London and Sevenoaks, Newcastle and Essex, and Leicester and Durham.
What was your closest to a game of the week contender, if not for Suns Lions?
Final four NCAA, surely.
WBBL.
I'm gonna go. I think. Can I have London and Essex tomorrow as well?
You think London Essex?
Yeah.
Imagine.
I was going to shake my head and disagree without knowing what the rest of the games are.
Nottingham and Sevenoaks. I think the gap's a little bit too much there without joining.
Maybe Newcastle Essex. I just think I think Essex kind of the last couple of weeks. I know we haven't gone through the whole results, but Essex have started to hit the struggle bus a little bit. Obviously, got upset by Oakland's at the weekend. Was it the weekend? Again, the dates are kind of merging together.
Recently,
I feel like
in the last 7 days.
Yeah, it must have been Saturday because that was the game where the 3 went in that didn't go in.
Oh, yes, that did happen.
At what point in the game was this? I couldn't find that. I didn't see anything like that.
10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter.
I was going to say, tell me it wasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, did that cause a very big issue?
For anybody that didn't see it, Michael, can you explain to us what occurred?
A 3 was shot by, I believe it was Ashley Munns. Yeah, it was Ashley Munns that fell short, hit the bottom of the backboard, and then hit the net, which presumably from the angle that the referees had made it look like it went through the net. But when you review it and you see it from like the camera and when you actually get to slow it down, it was just short and hit the bottom of the backboard and then bounced and went through the net like it had gone through the net. So referee believed it had gone in and gave basket good, which obviously now we've reviewed it, it didn't go in. Now, luckily, it was late enough in the game and the gap was just about big enough, it didn't affect the final result.
Was the score the same at that point? Was it still 57-52? So it would have been 57-55?
I believe, no, it would have been 57-49.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
So yeah, it's gone from a 5-point game to an 8-point game, and Essex didn't end up fouling to stop the clock down 5 with 10 seconds to go. But yeah, it was a bit of an odd one, but you can kind of like it shouldn't happen, but it's also one of them when you see the angle, you can kind of see on one take how you think it may have gone in.
Yeah, if you're the trail ref on the other side, maybe.
Or even under the basket, you can't quite see the backboard.
Were the players on the not saying like?
It was weird because Oakland's couldn't work out why the clock had stopped, and then we started, and also that stopped the delay in game. But I'll be honest, having listened to it back, I didn't hear, and obviously I'm not going to speak for Lee Ryan and the rest of the Oakland's players, but I didn't exactly hear them go crazy about it, which normally I would think you would. I don't know, maybe if they didn't realise the points had been allowed. I don't quite know. I mean, so I don't quite know the full situation. I was actually going to ask Lee on Saturday, but obviously Oakland's have gone into COVID protocol, so they are not playing.
So was it only reviewed after the game? Because I saw a player saying she wasn't credited for the rebound and it would have given her a double-double.
Well, the game wasn't being live streamed.
Yes, that was that one.
So
Yeah.
the first time the clip came out was Sunday afternoon, which is 24 hours after the game.
Well, it's lucky someone was filming it.
Yeah, but again, even if it's there, it's not something under British rules that's reviewable. So even if I was doing stats, and obviously on stats we've got access to old WBBL on YouTube, we've got access to that, and we are allowed to, and I wouldn't say encouraged is probably the wrong word, but we're told if we're not sure there's a gap in play, we can go back and check to make sure we give the stats, and if we need to change it, we can change it based on the video while we're at the game before we finalize everything, to try and help the accuracy of it. But that's something, even if we saw, we're not allowed to tell the officials, and it's not allowed to change. So even if we'd seen it at the game as stats and got the video evidence to prove otherwise, there's nothing that could be done about it.
Can the rebound be added on afterwards, like Ali, like Van der Sloot's lost assist was found this season? Or
no, because it was a made basket, so there's no rebound.
Okay. Oh.
Because you can't take away the basket afterwards.
So the final score is incorrect. It should be 57.
No, well, no, the final score is correct. The problem was 3 of the points never went in, but actually it was given. Was given by the referees. Is in the book, and that's what is official. Now you can find the book under protest, but you don't. And now I don't know. Let's say Essex win that by 1, and that's on a buzzer beater. I don't know what the procedure is at that point. That's out of my knowledge range. But yeah, no, it would have been, because I think Melita Ncaa grabbed the rebound. She ended up with 17 and 9.
So
it would have been 17 and 10 for Melita.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just one of those. You can't give a rebound to something. You can't give a rebound on a made shot.
Yeah.
The software physically wouldn't allow you to do it. And the stats has to match what's in the book. So
Yeah.
it's just an unfortunate thing. And the thing is, it didn't affect the outcome of the game, and that's the most crucial thing.
That's true, but you don't want to be in a position where
it could
happen. Yeah.
Okay, we've just seen it, and we'll sit back again. So here's the trail official, and yeah, I mean,
well, from what I've heard, one that was under the basket that believed it had gone in, and he's just off to the right there.
Yeah,
because Melissa looks like she's like.
And by the way, that's 2 very experienced and very good referees, because I know who they are. They're both very good.
I mean, that's I can see it. It shouldn't have happened, but you can see how it's happened.
Yeah.
Shall we move any more?
I can't think what else happened in the week. It feels like a long week.
Yeah.
Manchester beat Durham last night.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Somebody that we know, and friend of FocusHoops, had themselves a nice little game. Apparently, we spoke about it on the phone yesterday, Caz. They hit 3.
Oh my goodness! Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, Jasmine July had a really nice game. She had 9 points and 2 rebounds, and she hit a big 3 with about 4 minutes left to go in the game, because it was a pretty close game. 2 or 3 points, sort of going backwards and forwards all the time. Jasmine July hit a big 3-pointer, 4 minutes left, brought it to within 4. Durham couldn't kind of close that gap anymore, but it was a big play from Jasmine, and we've seen her do that before. We saw her at the start of the season for AIU doing a similar thing. I forget who they were playing. Can you remind me?
It was.
They came back.
Solent.
Okay.
Team Solent Kestrels.
Yeah. They came back off the back of some big plays from Jasmine July, so that was really good to see. And Cara Elderkin, just 19 points, 9 rebounds, went 13 of 13 from the line, which is quite impressive. And Sophia Song had a really good game, 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And she had 3 offensive rebounds, which I know you like, Darren.
I love that. I love everything I've heard just now. Made threes, made free throws, offensive rebounds. Oh, love it.
And Sophia Song has turned into a bit of a rebounding machine at the moment. She's she's speaking to her after the game. She's made a conscious effort to like get in and get rebounds. And over the last 5 games, she's averaging 6.6 rebounds. The first 7 games of the season, it was 3.5. So she's nearly doubled her output there.
With respect, I say all things with respect. She's quite short, isn't she?
5'11". So.
Oh, okay. So no, she's not.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought she was a little bit shorter than that.
But yeah, she had a great game. And Georgia Jones, of course, had a Georgia Jones game. She had 5 points in the first half. Things were a bit close. Second half, Georgia Jones was like, wait. Let me score 17 and we'll win. It's okay.
So there we go. Shall we do our low tech looking at the league table? We've not had a look at the WBBL standings for a little moment. So let's just share that screen again. You know, this is what we do. We make decisions on the fly. There it is. Boom. Let's get rid of that graphic. There it is.
Table in a while.
So London Lions, they are top of the table, 11-1 record. Leicester Riders, 10-1 record. The Sevenoaks Suns, 8-0. They've got themselves a tricky run-in, but they are there in third. Now, Michael, before I discount the Essex Rebels, 4 losses. Are we saying they're in the title picture? Okay, Michael shakes his head. And then down in the chase for the playoffs, let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oakland, I believe.
Oakland, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so Oakland's occupy the 8th spot. Do you think they're going to get it done, close it out with Newcastle 4-10, Caledonia 2-10? I think it's too much to ask of Caledonia and Durham at this point. No, Oakland's versus Eagles. What do we think?
I think Newcastle could do something here, depending. I don't know their schedule though at all, so that's a bit of a blind.
Yeah, and obviously I don't know. Like Oakland's now with obviously they've had the game yesterday and the game on Saturday off with COVID protocols. I don't know how that affects things because there's a chance at this stage in the season we're kind of talking in the realms of it's too late to rearrange. So now we could start seeing 20-0, especially if they're not back because they play Sevenoaks on Thursday.
They played them for the 8th. So yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. So next Thursday night. For example, so again, if that game starts off and then suddenly Oakland start forfeiting games, then they don't pick up the wins they maybe could get because they've suddenly started to turn a corner. Melissa Quick, from what pictures I've seen, is back in training, so that hopefully means she's close to making her debut. So I'd maybe say the team looking over their shoulders more Cardiff than Oakland, but Oakland's need to get on the floor to make that happen.
So the next 5 fixtures for Newcastle. Essex Rebels at home, 4th to the 4th. Durham Platinates away on the 10th. Oakland's Wolves, like you've just spoken about, on the 11th. So that is a tough... No, it's not. It's a local journey and then at home. Never mind, ignore me. Then they host Durham. Then they go away to Nottingham Wildcats.
And
so
finish at Leicester.
They could come a 4 out of 5 out of there, I think. I think they could come 4 out of 5.
So you think they're beating Essex, Durham twice, and Oakland's and losing?
I don't
to
think they're
Nottingham?
beating Essex.
Ooh, you think they're beating Nottingham? Interesting.
I don't like to say that though. I think they're surging a little bit.
So what if they are 3 of their last 5, but they have lost their last 2 games, but playing 2 of the toughest teams in the competition.
Didn't they just beat Nottingham the other week?
They beat Nottingham about a month ago, yeah.
Yeah, on the 7th.
They're not winning the second one then, no.
Maybe.
But they could go 4 or 5.
Oakland's their next 5. Sevenoaks Suns on the 8th. Newcastle Eagles, Manchester Mystics, Durham Platinates, and Caledonia Pride. I mean,
plus the 2 games to reschedule if they're allowed to reschedule them.
Yep, I'm just looking at the next little journey, but
no, because those games will have to go because the last day you can play is the 28th, and they've already got a game on the 28th, so they'll actually have to go in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, hello. Let's see. Greg says Oakland's beat everyone below them. It took a weird OT for Eagles to beat them in St. Albans. Eagles' run over that run will be loss, win, loss, win, loss, loss. There you go. Greg has spoken. He's going to be dressing up fancy
in 5 games.
He'll be dressing up real fancy as well for our award show. I'm excited. So yes, let's just take one more peek at the WBBL table. So I think Greg has Oakland's retaining their 8th seed.
I would be surprised if Oakland's get to play the games. I'd be surprised if they don't finish 7th.
And you think Cardiff are looking over their shoulder?
I wouldn't be surprised if it ends Oakland's. Well, but I don't know who's got the head-to-head on Newcastle Cardiff because they both beat each other. But I think Newcastle smoked Cardiff in Cardiff, and the other one was a 1-point game. So that would give Newcastle the head-to-head, which might be crucial.
Have a look at the next 5 for Cardiff. Riders at home, Sevenoaks away, Sevenoaks at home, Durham at home, Caledonia away. Ouch.
Yeah, but the last 2 are both winnable, which suddenly gets them into 6, and it's. I mean, I think Manchester have got enough, but again, if you're looking at if Durham beat Manchester yesterday, then Manchester's suddenly right in that mix of not making it, believe it or not. But I think but obviously Manchester did win the game, but if Manchester hadn't won the game, then there's suddenly only one winner. What would they be? 5 and 7?
Yeah.
And we're talking 4 and 8 being. But yeah, they'd be 1 game ahead, which sounds crazy with that Manchester roster.
To answer a couple of questions from the chat, Antonio Gerling says, do the viewers need to dress up fancy? It's absolutely recommended. And, get the old fancy selfie gimmick onto the old Twitter machine. And Greg is pretending like he's going to rock a hoodie. Come on, behave yourself. Oh, my God. Like a tuxedo hoodie. Like a tuxedo shirt, but like a hoodie. Yes. I'm here for it, Greg. Make it happen. Okay. Whoa. Feeling a little bit. There we go. That's more like it. Any more with the Women's British Basketball League?
I don't think so.
Is it time to visit our favourite place? It is. I've made that decision. We are going to Caz's Corner.
Yes.
Caz's
I like
European
this as well.
Wrap up. Brought to you by FocusHoops. Our Twitter is in the corner. We've got a globe and everything.
Caz, this is fancy stuff. This is.
There we go. We are moving up in the world. Caz, tell us about your corner.
So I've got some Turkish news and some stats for you. So Turkey, the centre of European basketball for me this season. So we're into the semi-finals. We've had quarterfinals this week, and our 2 semi-finals are Ncaa and Fenerbahce playing each other on the 4th and 7th. It's a best of 3 series, so the 3rd game's not scheduled until it's needed. And Ncaa have got Shavonte Zealous playing for them, who has just been signed by the Washington Mystics.
Hey.
Who someone claimed would be the Turkish League MVP months ago.
And I'm being seen to be correct on that one.
She's been having a fantastic season for Turkey, in Turkey so far. She's had at least 3 33-point games. She is 3rd in the league in points, and her team were 5th place in the seedings, beat the 4th place team, and are now through to the semi-finals. So that's definitely a team to watch, but they're coming up against Fenerbahce, who are a bit of a powerhouse. So
just a bit, and they've got the Satunicorn. They do.
So they're going to be really exciting games to watch. They are on the Turkish Basketball Federation YouTube channel, and they are on at reasonable times. 5 o'clock, I think they are on the 4th and 7th. And then the other semi-final that we have is Galatasaray and Ncaa. Galatasaray have got Mercedes Russell, Seattle Storm player, who in their quarterfinal against Botus had 10 points, 13 rebounds, 7 of which were offensive.
Oh, I love it.
5 assists and a steal. And Ncaa beat Mersin. And Christine Inigwe plays for Mersin, so she didn't win, but she had 15 points and 16 rebounds, 6 offensive in that loss.
So, Caz, I want your prediction. Who's going to lose to Fenerbahce in the final?
Galatasaray.
Okay. Michael, do you disagree?
I just think you buckled Caz into a corner unfairly.
I don't think that's unfair.
That's a bit like me saying, who's Stanford going to beat in the final?
Yeah, they're going to lose to UConn. That's right. That's fine. Don't worry about that.
I mean, Fenerbahce 26-0 in the regular season. They're now, I think, 28-0.
They're Turkey's answer to Katrinberg.
Ooh, God.
Ooh.
Kinda. Yeah,
They're kind of. I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen. But across 3 games, that does limit the opportunity for anything can happen.
Yes, that's true. And I like that. I like that better than aggregate, because we should not use aggregate in basketball.
So I'll tell you where they have had aggregates. Do you mind if I make it Daz's corner for just a second?
Yeah.
So Spain, where for me, aside from the British Isles, has been my centre of basketball this year. We're into the playoffs. Perfumeres Avenida wrapped up the league regular season with a 29-1 record. They took it by a single point, as in point in a game in the head-to-head over Valencia. They won the first tie by 2. They lost the second by 1. Therefore, they finished with a +1 over the incredible. So we're into the playoffs. Avenida beat Gran Canaria, so they have the 1-0 advantage. I thought it was a best of 2, but apparently not. Oh, sorry, I thought it was an aggregate, but I guess it's not. No, it is an aggregate, but they've got 1. Whatever. Aggregates. Estudiantes, Meligretta's Estudiantes, they picked up the win against Jamaica, so I'm very happy about that. Girona beat Clarinos, and Valencia play Encino, and that is probably taking place right now as we speak. So that is Spain. May I dip a toe in Italian waters?
Go for it.
My goodness. Another ridiculously tight situation. Venezia, home of Michael. Who do we know and love who plays in Venezia?
I was just about to say Valencia won 69-58, but that's not very helpful for the question because I wasn't listening to you.
It's a different question, but thank you very much. Valencia won.
Valencia won. There you go.
How many by? By 10, was that?
11.
By 11. Temi Fagbenle. Venezia are top of Italy by, they've got a 24-1 record. Familia Schio of EuroLeague fame, 22-2. They are in second. It's a 2-team situation right now for the league title. Michael's looking confused. Is this at me or is this something else?
No, I'm just trying to think if they've got to play each other again. I haven't looked. I think they've already played each other twice, and so
let me consult my newsletter.
Well,
no, they've already played each other twice.
I've just seen the fixture. Yeah, the title's done. They're not losing the last game of the season. I know who they're playing. They're not going to lose. That's
so
fine.
They've got Costa. So Vicenza have Ragusa, who I guess they must have just played.
No, but yeah, they've got
Battipaglia.
Yeah, Amber Melgoza and the Swedish girl. What's her name? Pauline Hirschler's team.
Yeah, 2-20 record. So we can hopefully chalk that one up as a win for Venezia. Schio have Costa Mansagna, who are 12-12, and then Sassari, who are 4-20 in their last 2 games. So Michael's calling it early, which is probably a good shout. Yes. So Venezia have 1 game left to win.
I'm not coming back on this show if they don't win that game. How's that?
Stop doing this. Just tempting fate.
That's how confident I am.
Oh, God. If they lose...
then you've not got me anymore. Sorry.
I mean, that's the problem for us. The problem for you is you're going to have Temi Fagbenle and others after you. You will have cursed them. In France, very quickly, Bourges, Landes, top 2. Top 1, Bourges, 20-0 record. Landez 14-7. 14-7. So there we go. Bourges wrapping things up in France. They've got their playoffs tipping off relatively soon. And that was me just diving into Caz's corner, trying to make it all about Daz's corner.
News graphics,
exploring.
Yes, Michael diving in there. Sorry, Caz.
No, you're good. You're good. That's we got to cover everything. Would you like my stat line of the week?
Oh, yes.
So
Here we go.
I've been to some more corners of the planet as well for this. So here we go.
Oh,
Kosovo, Sweden, Finland. Stat line number 1. Hannah Little in Finland. So she plays for the Espoo team. And this was in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. She had 20 points, 17 rebounds, 9 offensive rebounds, 5 assists and 4 steals. And that took them through to the next round of the playoffs. They were up 1-0. So the win pushed them through to the semi-finals. And they were the 4th place team playing the 6th place team, because I know you like your permutations.
4 and 6 playing each other.
Yeah. Yeah,
Three
I
and
don't know how that works.
does Finland have a fun like
Yeah,
Korean
no,
baseball
Kaz,
style?
3 and 6. I'll help you out.
I might be 3. Yeah, thank you, 3. Yeah. it's my writing. Okay, 3 and 6. 2, Alexis Heider in Sweden had 46 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists and 1 steal. She shot 61% from 2, 83% from 3, and 100% from the free throw line. But this was in a win or go home game, which they won by 10. So big win for Hogsbow and Alexis Heider. And then in Kosovo, we had Sarah Mbeki, 30 points, 23 rebounds, 8 offensive, 3 assists, 2 steals. She had 9 of 14 field goals, 3 of 6 from 3, an index of 53. And this again was a 3rd place versus 6th place team. But in Kosovo, there are only 6 teams. So it wasn't a playoff, it was just a regular season game.
Oof. All right, who's going first?
Some of these as well that we are seeing this season in leagues everywhere are bonkers.
They are hilarious, aren't they? So who's going first? Is it myself or Michael? Or you?
I have to be impartial in my stat line, I think.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not known for being impartial, though, so I'm happy to give one. Mikey. I know who Mikey's will be.
It's Hyde. It's not even close. It's like done, dusted, signed, sealed, delivered. I watched the game live. It was insane. Joint highest efficiency of the whole league in Sweden for the entire season. She was phenomenal. Good luck versus Alvik, though.
That's going to be a tough matchup. Okay, Darren?
This is tough. This is tough for me because I didn't watch the games, because that's not in the spirit of stat line of the week. And it's stat line of the week, Michael Hansen.
But how are you going to know watching a game that the stat line's going to happen?
You just know. You just know there's a feeling. It's just like, this is a game I've got to watch.
I should never have given you producing power. So now for me, those points are really good. Those points are really good. But I have to be true to myself. I'm going Hannah Little. Those 9 offensive rebounds, 17 overall in a playoff game, we say? Playoff game?
Yeah.
Do or die playoff game?
Yeah. No, it was Sweden was the do or die playoff game.
What's the situation in Finland? Are we best of 2, best of 3?
Best of 3, but they were already up 1-0.
So clinching game.
Yes.
Clinching game. That's big. That's big. That's big.
Big.
I'm gonna go with Hannah Little's 2017 5-4, and Alexis Heider. That's outrageous. 46 points. That's incredible. And Sarah Mbeki, ridiculous as always. We really need her on the show because I need to know everything about her time in Kosovo because it's wild. The numbers that she puts up are frankly absurd, and I love it. I'm here for it. So yeah, Caz, you've outdone yourself. What is this? What is this?
Hang on.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, that's by far the best stat line of the week we've ever had.
Oh yes, high standards.
Right.
I'll put the poll out there as well.
Yes, please do.
See if the people agree with us.
Well, they won't agree with me. I'm pretty confident now. Michael certainly isn't. Okay. Controversy. Oh, hello, Michael. What are you saying?
I think something's kicked off online. This is going to be fun.
Well, whilst Michael's trying to work on our Spice correspondent, Michael. Jersey Gate. Caz alluded to it just before the break because she's a professional and that's what professionals do. The WNBA jerseys have leaked. Not all of them, some of them, and to very mixed results. We are going to have the Chai Show?
The Sky Show Chai.
That's the one.
Sky Show Chai.
We're going to, I hate the word, but I'm going to say it, collab. We're gonna do a tiered ranking of all of the jerseys once they're announced because I love jerseys. Me and Caz spend way too much time talking about jerseys. Michael gets paranoid by it. But they have leaked. So in Dick's, if you're in America right now, go to your local Dick's Sporting Goods, try and hunt down a WNBA jersey, and maybe, just maybe, the plain name on the back will be spelt correctly because Elena Della Don,
League MVP,
champion, legend of the sport, and they're doing this. They're hyphenating her name, which it's not the done thing. You don't hyphenate that name. So yeah, here are a couple of the jerseys. The Mystics have had a second jersey leak. That is their third. It's like the City edition, though. I think it's got a different name.
There's the Explorer, the
Rebel or the Renegade.
No, yeah, Rebel, Explorer,
Heroine.
And, yes.
Heroine.
Yeah.
So I think Heroine might be the first jersey.
I don't think the Heroine one's around. The Rebel is the. I won't say the Rebel's the one with the Constitution bit on the front, and the Explorer's the red one.
The Spark ones are out as well.
That one's funny. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Why can we not just call them primary and secondary tertiary?
Oh, because you're going to make it exciting. That's boring, isn't it?
Not,
give them wild names that mean nothing.
But yeah, fair, I suppose. These are a handful of the jerseys. For me, this Equality Liberty jersey is so beautiful. I would buy one, and I don't own New York merchandise. It's just a rule that I would break for that jersey.
I have the same rule.
Oh, there you go. Now, on the end, we've got the Dallas Wings jersey. That's Arike Ogunbowale, and it is a horror show. In my opinion.
Nothing on the Sparks.
I don't know. I like the Sparks ones. I'm not into this at all. I'm not into this Dallas one at all. What is that color? It's not
army green.
Flattering color for people.
So, according to Jordan Canada, apparently the new Storm jerseys are a throwback vibe.
Ooh. That's
got tweeted out in the last hour.
To go with their new UFO logo. So that's exciting.
Yeah. And we're not going to have time to look at it, but Draymond said something and Ncaa's come back at him. So that's something that's gone off on social media while we've been on the air. So that'll be fun to look at him properly after the show.
I mean, he stays. Oh, we haven't spoken about Seawill and her tournament. So we'll talk about that briefly, or her event. But yeah, no, he's had a week of putting his foot in it. Now, for me, here's my opinion. Here's my take, cold take on Jersey Gate. This is a ploy. This is a Nike WNBA ploy. They've put these jerseys out. They've leaked them. They've been leaked accidentally. No. They've broken street date because they know that WNBA Twitter is proper thirsty for jerseys, for any kind of merchandise, and it's going to build a massive buzz around it.
Do you know what? To me, it
hopefully
seems
they change a couple of these designs, but still.
I like that. But I even more so like the idea that this was a complete accident and wasn't supposed to happen, but they've just gone with it because people are having lots of fun trying to find them, and it's been some really good promotion for them.
Yeah,
whoops! What have we stumbled into?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen I've never seen a WNBA jersey reveal be anywhere close to this exciting. Usually it's
No.
like, hey, here's our bland template. Look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a bit different color on the shoulder. Sorry, I hate lazy design. The MLS suffers with the same problem as well. They all get given like 1 or 2 templates and be like, yeah, just put your different colorways on that. It's lazy. It's unnecessary. It's disrespectful.
We want exciting jerseys. We want something, different and fun.
We just want custom. We want like there is no reason why you can't make 12 custom jerseys for 12 different teams. Like a team's like who is it? Not Usk. Yeah, Usk. No, not Usk. Who is it? TTC Riga. They've even got like completely different cut to any basketball jersey I've ever seen before. And you can't tell me that a WNBA jersey can't be a little bit interesting. I don't know. What do you think? Who are the winners and losers of the jersey battle so far?
Well, Dallas is a loser, clearly.
Sadly.
I really like that. I really like the New York ones, which isn't something I'd say. No. But they're nice.
Michael,
I'm looking forward to the Atlanta ones.
We know that you're not
saying nothing until they are finalized and officially made public in case they are not correct.
Out of these 4, which one would you buy? You have to buy one.
No, I don't.
Which one are you getting?
You have to be given one as a gift. Which one do you want?
No, none of them.
You're gonna say no to a.
I'm gonna wait for the final finish.
You're gonna look a choice jersey in the mouth.
A better picture than what's on a clothes rack that may or may not be correct.
Kazzy B, which one are you taking?
Because you can't even see the Washington one, for example, so you don't know what it looks like.
But can we just point out how great it is? The adverts are on the back and not the front, so you can kind of see. You can see the jersey. You can see we've got numbers on the front.
Numbers on the front.
You can see the team. You can see the city. I'm not following the Equitrust Sparks anymore. It's. I like it. I like it a lot.
Progress. Step in the right direction. I like it. I'm happy. Final one, and I don't have a graphic for it because I'll be honest, I completely forgot. The Women Above the Rim tournament or basketball event set for April 11th in Atlanta, Georgia. Courtney Williams, Seawill, Hollywood is hosting it. The event is been posted on Eventbrite. Again, if you're American watching this, if you're in Georgia, Atlanta, on that date, $10 it'll cost you entry. Now, it's funny because, again, how life imitates Michael Hansen Morris, because just last week he was talking about lowering the rims. For some reason,
don't blame that all on Mikey.
I'm not blaming that on Mikey, but that was a conversation. I don't remember the context.
No, it wasn't.
Shaq started it.
Shaq started it.
Yeah, it wasn't a call because I wasn't here last week, so it can't have been.
In our group, it was in our group.
I think it might have been. It might have been in the famous group chat. Anyway.
So, it might have been the video of Shaq saying they should lower them and Candice dismissing it, maybe.
Well, they've lowered them. They're lowering them from 10 feet to 9 feet to give greater opportunity for these above the rim plays. And it's going to be showcased with a full court game, a 3-point contest, and a dunk contest. No players, as far as I'm aware, have been announced beyond Courtney Williams. I think I've seen on the poster Shakina Strickland there as well.
Sharon Parker as well.
WNBA overseas and former collegiate players. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Exact details about location, like arena and stuff, yet to be announced. And also like April 11th. So that's soon. That's what, next weekend? Yeah, next Sunday. And a lot of European leagues still in full swing. So it'll be they'll get talent, but it'll be interesting to see. What do we think about this 9-foot rim dunk contest business?
Nah, I think have a dunk contest on a 9-foot rim if you want to, because but let's not have any serious discussion about lowering the rim in any other scenario, because it's just it's nonsense.
Mikey, are you excited for the women's above the rim event?
Not particularly, just because I'm not in the. It's odd because it's kind of a mid-season. It's like a pre-season event without really anyone being around. It's a bit of an odd timing. It'll be interesting to see how it works on the 9-foot rim. Does it allow more players because if it's not something you normally do or you've not access to practice on a 9-foot rim, I wonder if that's going to lower the quality of it, what potentially could happen, whereas you can practice on a 9-foot rim, then maybe some people can come out with a couple of tricks and stuff to make it super entertaining rather than just dunking it, because there's not too many women that are used to dunking it or can dunk it. So yeah, we'll see. It's one of those wait and see things. I think just the fact it's kind of in a mid-season flow over here and there's other playoff games or getting close to playoff games going on, just the timing just doesn't feel right in a sense, but you can see why they do it in the States, but just doesn't work with the rest of Europe.
Go on.
Sorry,
I was just going to say, it's an interesting experiment, I suppose.
Would you rather see like rolling clock 10-minute games with a 5-point line and a golden buzzer that gives you double points for 2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to see a lower rim. I think aside from
for the dunk contest, I can kind of see it. If it's for the game, it's going to make the game awful because the players aren't used to shooting in 9-foot rims.
I think it might. I think it might be for the game. I'm not too sure. That's not. It's super unclear.
Like 3-point shooting is going to be horrible because you don't practice on a 9-foot rim. It's going to completely change everything.
And that is the argument against having 9-foot rims.
So have a 9-foot rim for the dunk contest, and then back that back up to 10. Put some more tape on the floor for a 5-point line, and get a giant golden gong.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorted.
Perfect. The BBL All-Star Challenge is a lot of fun, actually. If you get a chance to, when they run that event, get a chance to be there. It's good.
It was, yeah.
All right. I think that is everything.
One last piece of terrible news that Alicia Clark is going to be out for the season with a foot injury, which really is rubbish for her, but rubbish for the Mystics as well in Washington, having signed her this season. So that sucks. Yeah. Get well soon, Alicia.
Mikey, anything from your good self?
Yeah, I believe we've got some congratulations in order.
Tell us more.
So, Amelia and Bart, so that's Bart Sengers, the Caledonia head coach. They have had their little girl arrive. I believe her name, I'm just double checking, is Sophia. So, congratulations to them.
Congratulations to them.
And then our very own British Joe Leadham gave birth, I believe, last Friday. About a week ago. She announced it today. Isla, I believe.
Oh, well,
Isla?
massive
congratulations
there as well.
Yeah, Isla, who's a week old. So congratulations to Joe and husband, whose name I've blanked on, which I apologise for because I really should know.
Oh, well, that's really, really wonderful news. Congratulations, and I hope everything is well and happy and healthy in those households. Any more for any more?
No, I think we're all good.
No, I think we're all good. Michael Hanson Morris, anything that you would like to? Have you got anything to plug? Anything going on with you this week?
Just Nottingham, Sevenoaks tomorrow, 6 p.m. and Nottingham, Manchester on Wednesday for me, I believe.
Ooh.
Nottingham Wildcats YouTube.
There we go. Caz, what about your good self?
Manchester Mystics are back at home against Essex on the 10th of April. You may have sound, you may not. Who knows? So hopefully we'll have our technical issues sorted out in time for that game. But you can catch that on the Manchester Mystics YouTube channel. And there's an interview with Sophia Song on FocusHoops.com in a write-up about the game against Durham yesterday.
And that's not who I am. That's not Caz. Where's my thing? Oh, there it is. Hi, Darren Paul, BBL commentator, WNBL commentator. Lions have a game on Wednesday, so I should be commentating that. That would be great. But more excitingly to the women's basketball, we've got the second edition of the newsletter. It is in progress, and it will go live Tuesday lunchtime. If you've read it, if you've glanced at it, if you've clicked on it and then binned it off, please give us a bit of kind but constructive feedback. I've already heard some really useful feedback from some people on it who have liked it but would see things done a little bit differently, and that's fine. I'm open to ideas and suggestions. to what works well. So that is over at Focus Hoops. There is a link in the comments. Go and check it out. Hopefully it's a useful little rundown or catch up of some of the big stories in the world of women's basketball and scores from the UK and select European leagues. So that is it for me. And also you can find me on Twitter at @AwaitTouch. I'm not over too much. This place, that's the real Twitter. Focus Hoops on Twitter. So thank you. Huge thank you to both of you, Caz and Mikey, for joining us this evening. Thank you very much, Caz. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Mikey, thank you as always, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. And of course, thank you so much for checking us out. Again, we're close to 100 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't already, why not consider giving us a cheeky little subscribe? Caz, were you about to say something?
I was. We're going to have a very special guest next week as well.
Are we gonna
maybe
save
we'll
that secret?
maybe we'll drop some hints in throughout the week.
Oh,
Let people try and work out who it is.
What works for
I can
Caz?
send some emojis.
Yeah. Ooh. We do like it. We know people that like emoji quizzes. All right. Thank you so much. As always, again, check us out, focushoops.com, all our social medias. And if you haven't already, think about subscribing to our YouTube. It really helps us out and just makes us feel good. All right. Thank you very much. We'll chat to you guys next Thursday. Take care.